An electrical accident rarely begins with a sudden flash of energy. It starts in complete silence, with a tiny, unnoticed change in the environment. Take a worker named Daniel, for instance, walking into a standard industrial processing area. A transfer pump has stopped mid-shift. Production is paused. His job is standard: inspect the motor and get the pump running again. The line is stalled, and the production board shows a mounting delay. The supervisor mentions the next batch starts in 20 minutes, and every minute the pump sits idle costs the plant thousands of dollars. Daniel skips the full hazard assessment and heads straight for the equipment to save time. Routine maintenance turns into a high-stakes gamble when urgency overrides the baseline rules of the shop floor. The danger is already building. Nearby, a leaking valve has been dripping since the previous shift. A thin film of water now coats the concrete around the pump base, enough to create a conductive path from Daniel's boots directly to the earth. To see the motor clearly, Daniel grabs a portable lamp and extension cable from the rack. The cable has been dragged across steel and stepped on for months. Beneath a piece of peeling electrical tape, the rubber insulation is split open, leaving the copper wiring exposed. A proper pre-use inspection would have caught that damage, but Daniel is racing the clock. He pulls the cord without uncoiling it, leaving the bare copper hidden from view as he plugs it into the wall. A compromised piece of equipment combined with an urgent timeline sets the trap. The physical path for electricity exists. It just needs a trigger. The wall outlet Daniel uses has a label claiming it is protected by a residual current device, designed to cut power if electricity leaks. But the testing record for that device is 3 months overdue. He trusts a sticker, assuming a level of protection that hasn't been verified. This schematic maps the flow of energy. While the main power disconnect is open, a secondary circuit for the control system remains energized. Without a verified lockout, electricity still reaches the machine's internal wiring. A stationary machine is still a live machine until its energy sources are physically severed and tested. Relying on an untested outlet and a silent motor leaves the worker exposed to the hazard. Daniel steps into the damp patch of concrete. He is wearing gloves, but they are standard mechanical gloves meant for dirt and scratches. They offer zero resistance to electrical current. His supervisor calls over the radio, asking for a status update. Distracted, Daniel reaches for the lamp cable with one hand, while resting his other hand on the grounded metal housing of the pump. He positions his body directly between the energy source and the ground. This diagram illustrates how disasters happen. Think of each safety measure as a barrier with a weakness or a hole. Time pressure, a wet floor, a damaged cable, a skipped inspection, untested protection, no isolation, inadequate gear, and a compromised physical posture. Usually, at least one of these barriers stops an accident, but today, all 8 holes align exactly. When Daniel's damp glove touches the exposed copper, current surges into his hand and travels through his chest, locking his muscles instantly. He is unable to pull away. The laws of physics do not care about a tight production schedule or a momentary distraction. Once the path is complete, the electricity flows immediately. The aftermath is severe. Daniel survives, but suffers electrical burns to his hand and an irregular heartbeat, requiring urgent medical evaluation. The plant faces hours of lost production time and an intensive investigation. Yet, if we rewind the clock, we see how easily this could have been stopped. If even one of those 8 failing layers had held firm, the electrical circuit would have been blocked, and Daniel would have walked away unharmed. Human behavior drives the first line of defense. That means pausing urgent work to plan the job. It means uncoiling an extension cable, inspecting every inch of the insulation, and tagging out anything that looks damaged. The systems themselves must also hold the line. Workers must physically lock out power sources, use a meter to verify the absence of voltage, and ensure safety outlets are tested on their required schedule. By actively maintaining every one of these defenses, a facility stops reacting to hazards and starts controlling them. The electrical arc is the final step in a long sequence of failures. The disaster actually began hours earlier with a dripping valve and an uninspected cable. Look closely at your own daily routines. Search for the damp floor, the frayed cord, or the missed inspection log. Catch the failing layers before they align. Subscribe to HSEINDEX to master industrial safety, learn from real-world investigations, and protect your team. See the hazard before it becomes harm.